Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. Sometimes one story reminds me of another story. That's what happened with this one. I was in San Antonio and I had finished all my work. So I was in my room and I found a really good Korean movie. If you're not up on Korean movies, you're missing out. Korean movies are so good because they develop the characters first and then they hit you with the action. And this was one of those you're watching, like, whoa, I need popcorn. And so I called down to see if they had popcorn in the hotel, and they didn't. And they told me that there was a convenience store on the corner, like a drugstore that was a convenience store as well. So I said, okay, great. I'll pause the movie. I went down the street and I was in San Antonio. It was really close to the historic site, the Alamo. And laying on the side of the convenience store was a man who was without a home and he was hungry. And he had a sign saying that he was hungry and he wanted some help. And so the story I told the other day about a homeless person reminded me of this because everybody was saying how gracious and loving I am. And I'm not always gracious and loving. So I saw this man and I asked him what it was that he needed. And he said, I really need some water and something to eat. And so I said, okay, I'll be back. So I went to the store and I went around and I got all the things that I could get. And I told the woman at the who worked at the register, she said, oh, you look hungry. And I was like, no, 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 these are not for me. There's a man on the side of the building who said he was hungry. And she held my hands and took my hands and held them up to her chest and said, oh, darling, take my discount. So it was a nice size discount. I was like really grateful that somebody else would participate in this with me. So I got a bunch of stuff for him and I went out to take it to him. And I lowered myself down, which was not easy to do. But I lowered myself down because he was weak and he couldn't get up to me. And so I lowered myself down to him, and I was showing him different things. And I said, "Is this okay? Is this okay?" He was like, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you." And I had been bothered because so many people, all these tourists, were walking by, past, and they just kept passing him. And I looked up, and I saw people taking pictures and video of this exchange. And that's when I wasn't all love and light. And I let every four-letter word fly out of my mouth that I could possibly find. And I was like, y'all better remember the F in the Alamo. It was bad. It was bad. But I told him, how dare you take pictures? And this woman was like, oh, this is so beautiful. I was like, no, 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 no. You're not taking pictures of him. You're not taking pictures of me, but you're definitely not taking pictures of him for you to post and say, wasn't this sweet? Wasn't this something? Wasn't this whatever? No, no. You passed him. You didn't care, but then you thought you had a social media moment. And so sometimes I am love and light. But sometimes I bring out my special no words. Anyway, that story reminded me of that one. And your comments that were so loving and so beautiful reminded me that we all have work to do. And I had all the love for him. I didn't have that much love for the people who were taking those pictures. And when I say I don't get to judge, I don't get to judge any of it. I love you.